Greetings, friends. I am Obsidian. Dom Studio released episode 32 of SKIBIDI Multiverse earlier today, and we sure got some incredible action indeed. We had everything from a flying POV cameraman and the return of the nailgun drillman with an interesting weapon. We also got to see the Titans apart from some and watch them interact. But before we get into today's video, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future analysis and theory videos from me. Also, give my video a like as it will help me out a lot. Let's begin. The scene begins where we see the POV cameraman with another cameraman as fighting and chaos occurs around us. And to be honest, from the way this cameraman is, it's as if he has PTSD from the war with the SKIBIDI toilets, and that would not surprise me at all. Or maybe he's getting infected, but I doubt it. Whatever it is, it seems like he is in no condition with continuing to fight for the cause. He hits us and then goes back to trying to curl up, but POV cameraman gets frustrated and grabs the cameraman by the shirt and then points to the battle and hits him to make him snap out of this behavior, because they're in a battlefield, but he doesn't move, which has now frustrated the POV cameraman and has pushed the cameraman in front of us down as the POV cameraman grabs the gun that looks like the same one from Monster Up's zombie universe, but it's probably a stronger variant of the stun gun from the original series, and he jumps in on the action, taking out the SKIBIDI toilets one by one. Before the POV can advance off onto the battle, the C-Pen robot has accidentally kicked him or an explosion happens in front of him, just after the C-Pen robot passes by, making him fall and look up to see his gun to the side. As the POV cameraman goes to grab the gun, someone has stepped on his hand, which promptly makes him look up and see a mutant buzzsaw SKIBIDI toilet. That looks like the buzzsaw SKIBIDI mutants that fought the assassin drillman back in episode 26. The POV cameraman quickly grabs something and punches the buzzsaw SKIBIDI mutant along with it, and then the Chad buff clockman, who is like a bouncer, hits the mutant buzzsaw SKIBIDI toilet with his hammer twice, making him fall to the ground, where we then see the Chad buff pencilman strike the buzzsaw SKIBIDI mutant's head with his hammer, ending him for good. The POV cameraman grabs his gun and looks up to see both the Chad buff clockman and Chad buff pencilman looking around until the buff clockman hits his hammer against the hammer of the pencilman, which sends magic into the hammer. But it sure makes for a funny scene because buff pencilman looks confused at first, but then the buff clockman does an okay sign, showing that he helped the buff pencilman some way, and the buff pencilman salutes him in some way before the POV cameraman begins to point at a helicopter that is slowly coming down and is about to crash onto them. But the C-Pen robot has come to the rescue and grabbed it, throwing it down like an absolute boss. Before we continue though, I wonder what the buff clockman did exactly. My theory is that the buff clockman made the hammer of the buff pencilman indestructible or more resistant when fighting against enemies, or better yet, he's made it so that if his hammer gets destroyed, it gets automatically reversed back into its original state, so that the buff pencilman doesn't have to focus on creating another hammer in the middle of a battlefield. But this is probably a one-time thing, I'd assume. Anyway, before the POV cameraman can do anything, he is suddenly grabbed and pulled backwards, and he sees a SKIBIDI woman head pop out, before it begins to drag him around and makes him go flying across the battlefield. I'm not going to lie, but that would terrify even me at this moment, and I'm sure the POV cameraman felt the fear during this very scene. The POV cameraman crashes into a lot of debris as he falls onto the floor, and it's amazing how he is still alive after being tossed around like that. But anyway, he begins to see multiple mutant SKIBIDI toilets killing cameramen. But he doesn't stay still for long when a mutant toilet walks up to him to attack him with an axe. So the POV cameraman quickly moves out of the way of the attacks. However, then the mutant decides grab onto him. However, as he is doing so, the POV grabs the mutant SKIBIDI toilet's grenade pin and then puts it up to the mutant's face, while sticking his middle finger up at the mutant toilet, who has now realized what is about to happen. The mutant toilet screams and blows up, sending the POV cameraman across the battlefield once again. The POV cameraman lands, but suddenly is met by a SKIBIDI tank going over him, but this luckily doesn't kill him since he is in a trench. The POV cameraman looks up to see that the SKIBIDI mutant toilet is still alive and he has only lost his headphones. The mutant stands in front of the POV with a gun and tries to shoot him, but it doesn't really affect the POV cameraman all that much, or the mutant misses its shot, making the POV round around a corner in the trench. Before the POV cameraman can run to somewhere else, a mutant SKIBIDI toilet falls down dead in front of him, and that's when we see the upgraded nailgun drillman appear with whip-like device that has thorns on it. This clearly replaced his old arm as he lost it back in episode 26. And it seems like, along with plunger cameraman who seemed to get upgrades, this nailgun drillman got upgrades too, so I am assuming that the flash cameraman with the green undershirt got upgrades too, since he was part of the episode 26 group who got teleported away to the TV man base and met upgraded Titan Clockman in the secret scene. The upgraded nailgun drillman notices the lingering SKIBIDI mutant toilet and grabs him with the whip, dragging him out and down onto the ground before the upgraded nailgun drillman drags his gun off of his grasp and the pivots around the mutant, removing a piece of armor, and then he stabs the SKIBIDI mutant in the face, where we hear the SKIBIDI mutant toilet scream as he dies, finally putting an end to him. However, as the POV cameraman and the upgraded nailgun drillman begin to look around, a SKIBIDI woman in a tank appears and sends a blast at the both of them, but the upgraded nailgun drillman has acted very quickly and grabbed the POV cameraman, flying off with him very quickly using his jetpack and taken him to a safer zone. POV cameraman looks up to see the upgraded nailgun drillman standing like a badass, and he begins to look around at the chaos before him, also seeing the buff pencilman using his underground pencil abilities, and the POV watches on before he looks at the upgraded nailgun drillman, who turns around, with us following shortly after, and we are met once again with the SKIBIDI tank, who once again tries shooting them, but the POV cameraman has jumped out of the way again. As the SKIBIDI toilet in the tank is about to try and attack us again, by running the POV over with its tank wheels, she is suddenly lifted up in the air by none other than Titan cameraman, who hurls the SKIBIDI tank across the battlefield with his gravity gun. Suddenly we turn around to see Titan TV man spawn into the scene, who begins to send his shoulder screens into battle to kill off the toilets using its lasers and the red screen TV glow, and then he brings the screens back to himself again. The POV cameraman and the Titans look over to see multiple SKIBIDI helicopters with rocket launchers come into the scene, but they don't last long when time promptly stops, and we see the knives of upgraded Titan Clockman have begun to take all of them down without a hitch. They return to him, and we see upgraded Titan Clockman standing like a king. The POV cameraman watches on as all three Titans come into view and stand next to each other in a triangle formation, and we also see the C-Pen robot roll into the scene at the bottom left. The Titans all try to do a Titan handshake, but they all begin to look at one another and begin pointing at each other, which was the leak that we got from Dom Studio a few days ago. This particular scene is also the famous Spider-Man meme, which was why Dom Studio captioned it. If you know, you know. The Titans decide to opt on with a 3-Titan fist bump pound it. That really does look so cool. I hope that the Titan trio can get to do this, if they do indeed defeat G-Man Toilet in the original series. Also, I think little buddy Buff Pencilman wants in on this action, since he showed up as they were doing it, but sadly, he's too small for this, so he is going to have to sit this one out. The POV cameraman and everyone else turns around and sees the Alliance running and marching to what could possibly be the SKIBIDI Base 1. And this scene looks so cool from all the pencilmen running and the rest of the Alliance, like the Buff Pencilman, Buff Clockman, Large Pencilman, and upgraded Nailgun Drillman just casually walking off to where they need to go. The POV cameraman looks up as he is marching onwards and sees all the pencil helicopters we saw from the last episode heading towards the base, making the scene end. Wow. What an episode this was, friends. So much action and excitement in just one episode, and this is building up to the next one where we will likely see the SKIBIDI Base 1 and will probably come face to face with a heavily upgraded G-Man and Scientist Toilet, I'm assuming. And maybe Alpha's Master also, unless, as I previously said, that G-Man could be Alpha's Master, but we will soon see. However, he may not reveal himself in the next episode and in a later point, where the Alliance will feel like they've won everything. He will reveal himself unexpectedly and change the tides of the war, as his powers would be very mysterious but extremely dangerous. I assume maybe we will even see that spider parasite again, and it will infect one of the Alliance members or one of the SKIBIDI toilets, and they will become the new counter-Titan, but stronger and even a big of a threat for upgraded Titan Clockman. Anyway, we do have some news about the next episode, episode 33. In this screenshot, it says that this episode will be the longest episode ever, reaching a length of 10 minutes. Which means that in the next episode it's all about to go down. Maybe we will not only see the return of the newly upgraded Titan Speakerman, But we will also see Titan Pencilman's arrival, as well as the arrival of Pencil Woman, the return of Flash Cameraman, the return of Smart Drillman, the return of the newly upgraded G-Man Toilet and Scientist Toilet. But who knows? Only time will tell. But what do you think? Do you have any theories? Write them in the comments. They are always welcome. Also, I have a Discord where you are welcome to join, and you will see SKIBIDI leaks when I have them and chat to the incredible community I am building. Thank you for watching my video. I was Obsidian, and until next time, my friends.